So I started my career as a journalist. I'm actually from Belize, and I moved here 2008 to do my master's at UWI. I was a journalist even before, continued my journalism career here, interviewing everybody, but at some point in time, finance just really tickled my fancy because nobody else in the office was interested in the business stories. Everybody thought business was boring. Who thinks that right now? Kind of boring. They're saying no, I love that. Everybody thought that numbers are hard. Who thinks that? Math's hard, don't it? Maths is hard, numbers are hard. I was like the only one who realized that there are stories behind numbers that need to be told. So when you're talking about inflation and the CPI, Consumer Price Index, as it's typically reported, I'm gonna report it as the price of bread gone up. Everybody cares about that, right? Food prices go up, bus fare gone up. That's inflation when the cost of living goes up. And when we're talking about business news, it's not just about revenue and profit and numbers and expenses and all these things and percentages. It is about whether a business is able to hire more people because they're doing well. It is about whether a business is going to expand to a new community. Fontana just opened in Portmore. Couple other businesses are opening around the country. Things are happening. And so what does that mean for us? That means there are going to be job opportunities. So you guys need to pay attention. You need to know what's going on. But today I want you to start figuring out some things about your life, because I heard that you are in a transition period right now in your lives, and you're going to have to be out on your own very soon. And I know that can be very, very daunting. It can be scary. It can be challenging. It can be all of the above because you don't know how you're going to face it, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. And at the end of this, I also have an opportunity for 3 of you to join my mentorship program. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, if I'm going to do like a Q&A and have people answer, or if I'm just going to do it by participation. Maybe I see, somebody was really participating and I just decided to give that person the opportunity. But I really want you guys to participate because there's a lot that you can learn today and a lot that can help set you on your track. Let me tell you the truth, the honest truth. I am 41. I did not start figuring out life till I was about 35. Just say a lie. Facts. It took me all that time. So when I was your age, I had no clue. Because I thought that being successful is what my parents told me. My parents said, go to school, study a book. Everything from my father was study a book. When I sing a song, my father is like, you know your book like how you know the song? It sounds familiar, right? Go to school, study a book, get a good job, work hard, buy a house. And then you're set. You're good. That's the key to success. Once you have your house, you're good. I did all of those things. I went to school, I studied very hard, I did very well in school, won all kind of awards, got scholarship, got good jobs, quote unquote good jobs, because what is a good job other than a good paying job? I got a job that I enjoyed, not necessarily a great paying job, right? And then I realized, but hold on, where's the house? Because they told me if I do all of these things, I could buy a house. But how come I can't afford to buy a house? I also had a child young. I had my first child at 19. So that made things even more difficult because now I have to fend for me and my child. I'm a single mom for quite a few years till I met my husband. Now we're married, we have other kids. But there are several years that I had to tough it out, including the years when I first came to Jamaica, didn't know anybody, didn't have any expensive last name. So my maiden name is Enriquez, but without the H. So there's some rich Henriquez here in Jamaica, right? Sean Paul is Henriquez, it's some rich people. That was not me. I'm the poor Enriquez from Belize. Didn't have any old girls association that can hook me up because I didn't go to school here. I literally knew nobody, and I had to start my life from scratch here in a brand new country, right? With a child. What possessed me to do it? Probably youth, because I was young, I was like 25. and felt like I could do this. This is not hard. What, like, anybody ever seen the movie Legally Blonde? One of my favorite movies. When he said, you're gonna get into Harvard to follow the guy, and she's like, what, like it's hard? It's one of my favorite lines ever. What, like it's hard? Yeah, I can do this. It was hard. And so when I realized, okay, I'm saving, first of all, it's hard to save when you have a child to take care of, you're not making a lot of money, you have bills to pay. It's hard to save. And the child's father was not providing. He was around, but not providing. Oh no, she's 21 now. In her entire life, I've probably gotten, because he migrated, I've probably gotten about 1,000 US from him in her entire life. So $100 here, $100, $50 there, every year or so. What I can do, that definitely can't mind a child, right? So I had to figure it out. And a lot of you are gonna have to figure it out as well. And you're coming from that same place as me, you might be saying, oh, she's successful, she has all of this going on. But trust me, I came from nothing in this country. Like I said, nobody knew me, no expensive last name, no connections, no nothing. But it is possible for you if you do some of the things that I'm gonna tell you about today. Not just working hard, not just getting a job, but it's gonna take more than that for you to actually create wealth. Now, who wants to be rich? Raise your hand. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Who wants to be wealthy? All right. Who wants to just be comfortable? Just comfortable. You don't need to be rich.
If you have both, you're going to be comfortable.
She said,
for me. If you have both, like if you're rich, if you're wealthy, you're going to be comfortable. But that's it for me.
Not really.
all right, let's define some things. Let's define some things. What do we mean by rich? What's rich?
Surplus. Financial easy, like having money in surplus.
Having money in surplus.
I know that rich people allow money to work for them, so I'd say if you're rich, money is working for you, you're not working for money.
So what's wealth then? What's the difference between being rich and being wealthy? Over here is table. You said you had your hand up? What's wealth?
Wealth is like when you're
Oh.
not rich but you have stuff that make you comfortable.
Wealth is, she said you're not rich, but you have stuff that make you comfortable. What's wealth, young man?
Well, miss, I think wealth is like you have a lot of money, but you can maintain it and you can make more if you want.
All right, so I like that start. So being rich, a lot of people achieve being rich in their lifetime. You think about a lot of famous singers, you think about a lot of athletes, you think about people like that, people in celebrities, entertainment. They are able to earn a lot and they're rich. Think somebody like Cardi B, right? She's rich. But is she wealthy? I don't know. I don't know what she has going on behind the scenes, right? A lot of athletes though, and a lot of entertainers, they are rich while they're popular and while they're earning money, but then as soon as they stop earning that money, they're broke. How many times you hear the story about this one who was rich and famous back in the day, dies broke and have to be holding fish fry for their funeral, right? It happens all the time. So people accumulate a large amount of money and they get rich, but then that money that they accumulated never went to work for them. So the minute that they stopped working, they don't have any more money coming in the door. Now, in order to get to wealth, we have to take the money that we earn and make that money work for us. So wealth is when your money makes you money. Wealthy people eventually don't even have to work anymore because money just coming in the door off of their money. They're earning interest, they're earning dividends, they're earning rental income, they're earning all these passive sources of income where they can just take this chair, sit down, and collect. So we're just gonna sit down and what do we want to do? Our aim is to sit down and collect. So I can be here giving this talk to you right now, while I am earning income on the other end. I can be getting a message on my phone right now that I'm getting a dividend check or that something is paying me without me physically having to work for it. That is the ultimate aim. Now, nothing is wrong with working, because you're gonna need to work, especially in the beginning, in your early years, in order to get the money to invest, and that money is then going to start working for you. And personally, I like working. Working fulfills me, working brings me joy. I feel like I'm gonna work until I die. I have no problem with that, at least right now, because I love what I do. But you also wanna be in a position where you can afford to do what you love. Because many times the things that we love don't really pay very well. The things that we love might be, my friend here, Izzy, loves to crochet. And I feel like if I leave it to her, she's gonna crochet all day. She's always crocheting and knitting. But does she make any money from crocheting? She said no. So she wants to be in a position where she's earning money from something else so that she can do what she truly loves, which is crocheting. And maybe she'll sell a few pieces here and there, but it's not really about the income generated from that. It's just because she likes doing it. It might be that your mission in life is to talk to other young people like yourself, to go around the country, go around the world, talking to people. And philanthropy doesn't really pay that much, if at all, right? So if you want to be able to live that lifestyle, to do something that you love, you need to be able to support yourself. You need to find the money from somewhere else. They always say it takes cash to care. And if you want to be able to donate to noble causes, where are you going to get the money from? So you need to figure out, how are you going to get the money to do the things that you truly want to do? Ideally, that's the position that you want to be in by the time you're my age, so that you're no longer working for a paycheck, your paycheck is working for you. You get that paycheck, you put it into stocks and bonds and whatnot, and you just earn and you live off of the interest. It's doable. So the next thing, we spoke about rich versus wealthy. The next thing I asked you was about being comfortable. What would it take? Remind me who raised their hands, who said they just wanted to be comfortable. There are a few of you who said you don't really want to be rich or wealthy, you just want to be comfortable. All right, tell me, how much would it take? How much do you think you would need to make a month in order to be comfortable?
I don't know, it depends.
It depends on what? She's like, nope, not me. You raised your hand, I remember.
Not for comfort.
Who raised their hand for comfort?
I did say for comfort, but like you were asking, do you just want to be rich or wealthy? So for me, I said if I have both, I'd be comfortable.
Oh, right, she did say that. She said if she had both, she'd be comfortable. What would it take for you to be comfortable? How much a month do you think you need to make? 100,000 Jamaican dollars? She said somebody else said US.
I think it's just based on your current living right now. So right now I don't have to worry about paying rent or paying school.
Yeah, but all right.
So that's just right now.
Forget that. Let's say you're taking care of yourself, right? Nobody else is paying your bills. You have to pay all your bills. How much would it take a month to be comfortable? You still stick with the 100K? Okay, he says yes.
You have to take care of yourself and everything.
All right, stand up. Let's talk. Come. Let's talk. You don't have to raise the volume though. Oh, he's tall.
Would you have a child in this essence or not?
Well, we'll see. We can work it out with or without. Timarian Buckner. Nice to meet you, Timarian. All right, so you have to speak up a little bit so everybody can hear you. So tell me what will this 100K pay for?
It's like food and electronics also.
So in this situation, do you have a family or is just you?
Just
All right, so how much do you intend to have a family at some point?
it's after 30,
After 30, how old are you now?
19.
19. All right, that's not bad. That's a good timeline. I like that you're being responsible and planning out the life. All right, let's work it out. So, 100K. How much does food cost a week? For just you. Let's work it out for just him, and then once he has his family. How much does food cost? A week. How much you gonna spend on food?
Miss, within a week, food would be like $5,000. Come can cook already. I can cook, so it will be $5,000.
$5,000 worth of groceries for 1 week.
And you would have you know what?
Wait, but what's your diet?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. What are you eating in a week?
Miss, like, come I can cook.
Like what?
Like soul food, like rice and peas, provision,
Chicken. Okay, how much for a whole chicken?
Man, no, miss, let's buy 2 pounds.
$5,000 done it already.
No, that's all I want.
A whole chicken is about $2,000. Depends on the size of the chicken. Depends on the size of the chicken. But about $2,000. So that's already almost half of your food budget just on chicken. And it's week. A week is 7 days, remember. If you cut up the chicken, but we're talking about being comfortable. We don't really want to be, we're not living the broke life. We're not living an extravagant life. But we're comfortable, where we're not scarce on food. We're not eating chicken back every day. We're comfortable.
What if you're
right? So let's say we're doing a whole chicken. For one person, a whole chicken can last a week. Yeah, it can. I mean, I'd probably have a couple pieces left over too. Izzy says no. Because you get 4 quarters. That's 4 days. But you're not eating a whole quarter. You can eat just 1 piece. So an eighth of a chicken could give you 8 days. They're like, no, that's struggle. That's struggle life. So let's say we're eating either a leg or a breast or a thigh or whatever. 1 piece a day. So you're not even getting a 2-piece cooking for yourself. He says no. That's struggle. He says, camera guy says no to that struggle. And you're a man, and you're a tall guy, you're a big man. So I think you need 2-piece. So that's 2 chicken. That's $4,000.
That's what dinner. So like chicken would be for dinner throughout the day, like egg.
So by the way, that's just 1 meal. Because you also have breakfast. You also have lunch, and then you have your supper. If you're eating 3 meals a day, we're already done the $5,000 budget just on the chicken alone, not counting the rice and the peas and the coconut milk and the seasoning and the scallion and what else you eat with rice and peas and chicken. Stuff to make the gravy, coleslaw, vegetable. Yeah. So for a single person, drinks, not even count the drinks yet. All right, so at $5,000 a week.
Tank. They can use tank.
Tank, yeah, tank. One tank and that. Yeah, for 1 person for 3 days. All right, good. All right, have a seat. I think we figure out that the 5,000 is not gonna last you a week. Even cooking for yourself. Well, let's continue adding it up, right? Single person, I think minimum would be 10. And even that, because we said we want to be comfortable. We're not struggling, right? We're not struggling. 10 is probably still struggling. So I'd say 15 to be comfortable. We're just talking about food right now. So we're just at food. All right, rent. So rent is one thing that we all need. So we need food to survive and we need shelter. And we want to have shelter in somewhere that is comfortable and safe. So we're not living in the ghetto because we're living somewhere that we feel secure. I'm not saying anything wrong with living in certain neighborhoods, right? But you want to feel safe. You want to live and grow up in somewhere that you don't have to worry about gunshot firing outside. So how much would rent cost in a community like that? And right now it's just 1 person. Right now you're just catering for yourself. So you can do a studio because it's just you. She says cap it at 70. She said 70 is overdoing it. It depends. It depends. We want to be comfortable. She says 40. I think you can find something decent in a mid-tone. So not uptown, but not downtown either. Like probably 40. A little studio for you alone. So we're already at 15 a week for food. Times 4, that's 60 on food. Yeah, 60 on food. And then 40 on the rent, that's the 100,000 already. That's the 100 already. We haven't gotten to transportation yet, because we're looking at bus fare, but then you want to be comfortable. So if you're comfortable, we're not taking the bus to be comfortable, right? We drive our own car, because we're comfortable. And I'm not talking about an X6. We want a little Toyota Camry, a Honda Fit. All right, how much that costs? 2 million, somebody said 1.6. How much is gonna be your loan payment? I'm assuming you're gonna take a loan. She said she's not taking a loan, so where are you getting the 2 million from? Yes? All right, listen.
Morning, guys. So I want to do a breakdown of what I would do if I'm living comfortable.
Hold it closer.
If
All right.
I'm living comfortable, this is what I would do. So if I'm living comfortable, I would want $1 million a month. So no, $1 million a month. So first I will take out 2 cars. A car for a taxi and a personal car. Loan payment is 50,000 each, so that's 100,000. I leave with 900,000. My rent is around 100,000. 800,000. I would have 50,000 going into my high yield account, savings account, and 50,000 for my stocks. So, Trans Jamaica, Fontana, and those stocks. So I left with 700,000 now. For food now, I would spend like 25,000 a week till it proper. And eat healthy. So that's 50,000 a month. So that's 650,000.
That's 100,000. 25 a week times 4.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 100,000. Sorry, 100,000. So that's 600,000. I will pay for. No, first since I took out the car and I took out for the taxi, I would spend 150,000 to service and register the car as a taxi. So that would leave only 450,000. So 450,000 now, yeah, those expenses. Yeah, approximately 30,000. No, we live in a single life. I'm living a single life. So yeah, clothes and things, but I'll be shopping like online, Amazon.
All right, I like this plan so far. So I like this plan so far. I'm actually impressed with this plan. It's not like you think about this before. You think about this before. You made a plan, you wrote it down, right? All right, so our transportation, we're looking 50,000 a month on your car loan, possibly, for something in decent condition, maybe 40, it depends. We're comfortable. Our car is not breaking down on us. We have a decent quality car. Our AC works and all of that. Utilities. We said we want to be comfortable. You want AC? You want AC, right? All right, so that light bill, how much is that light bill going to be with AC? Because Jamaica hot. So if we're going to be comfortable, we need AC. One person, your light bill is going to be, if you're running AC just at night, your light bill is going to be about 30,000 in just the one space, the one room. I can tell you. And even I lost track of how far we are. Plus you have your cable, you don't really need cable anymore. Internet, water bill, phone, you need a cell phone, right? So all bills together probably about 50K. So we had 50 for utilities, 50 for your car, that's 100, 40 for rent, that's 140, 60 on food, that's 200. We haven't factored in, what's that, gas? Gas for the car tech gas. Full tank of gas is about $11,000. Depending on how often you're traveling, you might need 2. I usually use about 2 full tank of gas a month, 2 to 3. But I travel a lot, so let's say 2. So 20, let's budget 20 grand for gas. How much we reach now? 220. Then you need insurance, maintenance on the car, fitness, license fee, fitness fee, insurance for the car. We also need, everything costs money. And this is just us living alone. This is just us living alone to be comfortable. We're looking at maybe about a good 300,000 a month, and we're not looking at taking care of our family yet. Now, how much do you think it costs to buy a house? Which everybody says is the ultimate goal. Buy a house and you're good. Buy a house and you're good. How much does it cost to buy a house in a decent neighborhood, secure, somewhere safe, somewhere nice? She says 40 million. Where is this house? Let's say we're looking at a 3-bedroom because you're planning for your family now, or you have a family already. You're married, you have 2 kids. They want a nice 3-bedroom house. Let's say a 3-bedroom townhouse in a nice community. Assuming you're living in Kingston, St. Andrew. How much is the house? She says 40. How much you say? 60 million. Any other guesses?
17 million.
She saw one for around 58. So it really depends. You really have to shop around, right? Living in the country, you're going to get much better deals. Here in Kingston is a lot more expensive. I would probably say the 60 million range can get you something decent in Kingston. Now, what is your mortgage payment on a $60 million property? How much are you going to have to pay back the bank every month to pay for that $60 million house? Let me tell you how much it is. Because we just bought a house that we paid $42 million for the house. Mandeville. Nice big house in Mandeville. 42 million goes a far way in Mandeville compared to here. How much is our mortgage? 420,000 a month.
When is that done?
She said, when is that got done? 30 years, my dear. Mortgages are typically 30 years. 30 years, typically. You can get it for 20. If you get it for 20 years, that means it's going to be a bigger payment. If you can get it for 40 years, because the younger you buy the house, the longer you can do the mortgage. If you can get approved for 40 years, your payment will go down. So we're spending 400K. So imagine that $60 million house. How much is your mortgage? A good 500,000 already. So my friend who had his $1 million budget, you have your extra 500K for your house, and your million done already. The million is gone. Yes, question.
So you said that it's 30 years, right? So just, God forbid, but hypothetically speaking, what happens if you pass away before that 30 years?
So the banks are smart. She says, what happens if you pass away before the 30 years? The banks make you sign life insurance. They make you take out a life insurance policy equivalent to the cost of the house. Additionally, the loan is secured by the house. So if you're not finished paying for the house, if you default on your payments, they can take back the house, right? And then there's also the life insurance portion. If you die, then they can always just collect on the life insurance, and that pays for whatever you owe for the property.
So they leave the house if they did.
Because they thought about all of that.
So if they take the life insurance,
I think she asked if they take the life insurance, they leave the property. I guess it varies from situation to situation how it's going to work, right? Fortunately, I have not died, so I don't know what happens in that situation. But the banks have figured this all out a long time. So you have your family. We haven't factored in school fees yet, the uniform, shoes, because picnic lunch money, bus fare for the kids, child care, because while you're at work now, who's taking care of the kids? You have to pay child care, daycare, whatever the situation is. With extra food, because them can't eat. My kids, I don't understand how they eat so much. My God, especially when they turn teenagers. My gosh, every minute they're hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry. Didn't you just eat? You just eat. How are you hungry again so fast? My daughter, when she was in prep school, and oh, we never even talked about prep school. So if you want the kids to go to a prep school now, school, ooh, you're looking at 100,000 up on your school fee every 3 months per term, yeah. What about what? Pets and vets. Oh, you rich. You rich. You rich. You can afford a pet. My daughter is in college right now. Speaking of which, we also have to plan for your kids' college education. That's another money. We haven't even spoken about savings yet. We haven't even spoken about investments yet. We haven't spoken about life insurance, health insurance, all the other types of insurance. We haven't spoken about any of this yet. So easily, his $1 million to be comfortable already makes sense a month. Now, how much are you likely to earn? I heard most of you here are in school, in college, tertiary education, or continuing education. So now let's talk about how much are you likely to earn after you graduate. Entry-level job. Yes, ma'am, how much?
Literally 100,000.
She said literally 100,000.
That's what they want to pay us.
Doing what? What kind of work?
Even as a nursing job.
Nursing.
Going as a new
She said
nurse,
call
getting,
center.
like, 100,000.
Anybody else? How much you gonna earn? Let's say you have a degree. You got a bachelor's degree, you finish UE and all that. So you're coming in with a degree. How much you gonna make? Straight out of school. She said what? 180? I heard 160. So you guys are in the right range. 1 to 150, I would say. And I know people making less with degrees. Entry-level position. So we already established how much it costs to be comfortable. And clearly, you're gonna be, in the beginning, earning way less than what it takes to be comfortable. So that 1 to 150, if you have to take care of all of your own bills, is gonna be a struggle life for a while. And you're gonna try figuring out how is this going to work. And you're gonna have to match down to the last penny, because I had to do this. Okay, I have X amount for bus fare. And when that taxi man driver said, no, today it's not 100, it's 150. And you know they do that, right? And I'm like, but I have the exact money for the week. And you're gonna have to struggle with him or find the extra 50 somewhere. It's gonna be, I just want you guys to be prepared that when you do go out there and start, it is gonna be hard. But it's not impossible. It's gonna be hard, but it's not impossible. And so you're gonna have to be very disciplined, especially in the beginning, with how you spend that money. And you're gonna be tempted everywhere, because when you're young, you wanna go party. And parties cost money. And to party, you also have to, it's not just the cost of entry, you also need your taxi fare to get there, or if somebody's dropping you. You also need your clothes. You also need, for the girls, you need to do your hair, you need to do your makeup, you need to look good to go to the party. And then when you get to the party, you also need liquor money. You need your get vex money. You have to have some in reserve, right? So it is gonna be a struggle for you to avoid those things. And I'm not saying completely avoid it, have some fun, live your life, you're young, which I did. And I regretted it many times, but you live your life, one life to live. But also make sure that you plan for these things. So if you know you want to do this, Easter weekend is coming up, you want to go Ochigo party, plan for it. Make sure that you have a plan for, okay, how am I going to pay for it? Whether it's now or later, whether you're taking, some people take loans, not advisable for party. We're going to talk about the role of debt as well. A lot of thinking goes into how you're going to live your life. So we've talked about being rich versus being wealthy. We've talked about how much it takes to be comfortable. And we've talked about how much you're likely to earn in the beginning. So how do you get from making a little bit of nothing in the beginning to finally getting towards wealth? How do we get there? This is the part that they don't teach us in school. Because I was taught, like I said, you study hard, you get a good job, and you're good. But what is a good job in Jamaica? They're not paying very well. What if you, and then you save, you're supposed to save. Out of all of these expensive, you're also supposed to find it to save. You have to find it to save. I'm going to tell you from no. You have to find it. If you want to escape that trap of just being stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and you have to go take out a micro loan from Dollar Financial or whichever other micro place that offer payday loans, and then you end up owing a bunch of people, because I have them come to my program. They're like, they have 4 or 5 loans, and the loan shark is beating down on their door and threatening them. This happens because they can't afford to pay. If you want to not be in that cycle, you have to have a plan. You have to sit down and max it out like my friend over there, and you have to find money to save. Now what do? You're not going to leave your savings for last. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to pay all my bills and then what left goes into my savings. No, you're going to take out your savings first. That's what they call pay yourself first. And why do we do this? Because, I don't know, anybody here is working already? Anybody have a job? You get a pay slip, and you ever looked on your pay slip and you see all the things that come out of your pay slip? All the income tax, education tax, NIS, all the deductions that come out if you have a loan that comes out first before you even see it, and then what left is what you survive on. You don't really look at those numbers that you don't get. You just figure out a way to survive on the rest. So that is the concept of paying yourself first. So take out your little savings part first, and that forces you to survive on the rest. I'm encouraging you very strongly, you have to start doing it as soon as possible, or otherwise you won't have any money to build upon. Because what did we speak about in the beginning? We said that in order to create wealth, you have to make your money work for you. But in order to make money work for you, you have to have money. You can't be spending it all. You have to have money first. So we're starting out by accumulating a small little fund over here, put it in a separate bank account that you don't touch, and that's going to start accumulating. But you can't do just savings alone, because that is never going to make you rich. That's never going to make you wealthy. Saving alone, that's the other myth. They tell you, oh, just save and buy a house. Save up and buy a house. I saved, that never gave me the house. How come? Guess what happened now? What really happened? Let's say I started saving 5 years ago. That would have been 2019. Well, what happened between 2019 and now? Let's say I managed to save $1 million, right? Let me give you a better example. House. Because most of us want to save towards a house, right? I saw a perfect house that I love. Beautiful house. 2019. House was in the papers for $30 million. Like, yes. $30 million, I want to put a 10% down payment. That means I need to save $3 million to get this house or something similar to it. But what happened between 2019 and 2024? When you're ready to buy the house, you finally save the $3 million. The house now costs $40 million. Price gone up. Inflation. Cost of living. So the $3 million that you saved, it now needs to be $4 million, because $4 million is 10% of $40 million. And then you finally get the extra $1 million, but now the house gone up again. And now it's $45 million. And it feels like 2 steps forward, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and you just never really get there. Why? Inflation is eating away at your savings. How much a patty cost when you were growing up? $60. How much a patty cost now? Somebody said about 5 bills. What is it, about 200? $300 bill? Jesus Christ. That's with poker bread though. Patty alone? How much? 150 for 150 for cocoa bread? My God. Make your own bread. Wow, okay. So that's inflation, cost of living. So if you just have your money sitting in a bank account, right? If you just have your money sitting for years in a bank account, what is going to happen is that money is not worth the same as it was when you saved it. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when you need the money, is not worth the same. So this year in Jamaica, inflation is, I think it's about 6%. 6% inflation means that things cost 6% more today than they cost last year. So if a patty last year cost $100, this year it costs $106. And if you're saving and you saved $100 last year, that $100 is not enough to buy the patty this year because of inflation. The price of the thing gone up. Now, banks pay interest. How much interest do you think you get from the bank on savings? 1%, 2%, 3%, depending, but typically it's less than 1%, like 0 point something percent interest. So your $100, you earn a tiny bit of interest on it. Your $100 last year is now worth in the bank about $100.50, not even 101. But the patty gone up from 100 to 106. So saving alone, you're actually losing money. How do we combat this? How do we move against this? This is where we start thinking about our wealth creation strategies. Because now we have to make sure that that $100 is worth more than 106 this year. And clearly, saving alone is not going to do it. So we have 3 keys to wealth creation. This is where our keys come in, our strategies come in. We have number 1, entrepreneurship, which at your age is great because you guys young, you have the energy, you have time, right? Entrepreneurship, first key to wealth creation. But here's the thing now. Entrepreneurship, starting a business, it takes up all of your time. It takes a lot of time. You're going to be working on it. You think a 9 to 5 is a lot of work? Try entrepreneurship. It's a 24/7 job. Literally all hours of the day, all days of the week, you're going to be working. So entrepreneurship takes a lot of time, and it could take several years before the business even becomes profitable and you're able to reap the benefits back from entrepreneurship. But to me, personally, it's the most rewarding as well. Because if you're able to build up that business, look at all the richest people in the world, they're all entrepreneurs. Jeff Bezos founded Amazon in his garage. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, a number of businesses. Who else is Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. So we have all the richest people in the world are entrepreneurs. So definitely a key to wealth, but it takes a long time. So that's one thing. Number 2 is real estate. From time was time, wealth was measured in property ownership, land, property. There was a time in this very country in Jamaica where in order to even vote, you had to be a property owner. Literally. If you didn't own property, you can't register to vote. You can't vote. You're not entitled to that. You have to. So wealth has always been measured by real estate, by property. And that's why our parents or people close to you have probably said that the key to it all is own a house. Once you own your house, you're good because you have wealth stored in that property. You have value stored up in that property. Now the thing about real estate is that you need a lot of money. We spoke about the cost of a house already. And so you need either to have a lot of money already, which I'm assuming most of you don't have, I didn't have it, or you need to have access to a lot of money. So you take a loan, you get a mortgage. But even getting a mortgage, you still need to come up with a down payment, which can be a challenge for most people, saving up that 3-4 million plus the closing costs on top of that. Good 5 million you're gonna need. So that's a barrier to entry. So real estate, kind of hard to get into because you need a lot of money. Entrepreneurship is going to take up all your time, which brings me to the 3rd key to wealth creation. Anybody can guess what it is? Investing. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. You get a prize, you get a prize. Everybody gets a prize. Investing. I like to specifically recommend stock market investing. Why? It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of money. Especially here in Jamaica, most of the stocks listed on the stock exchange, you can get it for less than 100 Jamaican dollars each. How much for a bag juice? $30? There you have $50. You have stocks you can buy for less than $50. What are stocks though? So, listen. She's like, hey, listen up. What are stocks? Okay, this is where it gets exciting for me because I just started learning about this 35. I had no clue what all of this was and that this truly unlocks wealth. So stocks are simply your ownership in a company. So when a company, let's say I have a company, I do have a company, Money Media is my company. Money Media is privately owned by me and my husband also is part owner in my company. Now if you wanted to invest in my company and become part owner of the company, you would have to approach me, say, hey, Kalilah, can I invest in your company? Personally, and you have to give me some money, obviously, right? You have to make me an offer that I can't refuse, and then you can become an owner in my company. No, Massey is a publicly listed company. What does that mean? That means that you don't need to personally know the owner of Massey in order to become an owner of Massey. All you have to do is go on the stock exchange and buy shares in the company. Yes, we have a question in the back. Huh? She said, you're all shareholders when you work here? That's amazing. Good job, Massey. If you can work at a company that automatically gives you ownership in the company, go you. That is brilliant because not many companies actually do that. So, where was I? What was I saying again? Oh yeah, stock exchange. Okay, so how many of you heard the term IPO? Most people, about half the room have heard IPO. IPO stands for Initial Public Offer. What does that mean? Now let's look at what the words mean. What initial mean? First time, not my middle initial. Initial means the first time. First time something is done, that's initial time. Public is the opposite of private. And then offer is when I make you an offer. That's the best way I could say it, right? So initial public offer is the first time a company offers its shares to the public. So when Massey does an IPO, which they would have done many years ago because Massey been listed for a long time, that is the first time Massey said, okay, we no longer are going to be a private company, close-knit, just a few people can own us. We're going to open it up so that anybody can own shares in us. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Yes? Either to pay off loans or to expand. Yeah, so they do it to raise money. Because it doesn't come free. They're not giving away the shares. They're selling the shares. So they do it to raise money. And the benefit of that is that they don't have to, because how do businesses typically raise money? Typically, you have to go to a bank and get a loan, or beg your friends and family, especially early stage, beg your friends and family, give you some money to start this business. Or maybe you can get some grant funding, which usually isn't enough, and you have to jump through all kind of hoops to get the grant funding. But then there's this other option of doing an IPO. So you have a plan now, you want to expand the business, you want to grow the business, you want to become, let's say Massey's already all over the Caribbean, let's say they want to go global now. And let's say they hadn't done an IPO yet. They want to go global, they need money to go global because they're going to have to hire more people, they're going to have to build more locations, they're going to have to do their research, market research, all that costs money. They decide they're going to do an IPO, list some shares, and they get free money. They get free money. They don't have to borrow the money, which means they don't have to pay back interest. They don't have to jump through these hoops trying to get approval and grants. We have a question here, yes?
How do you determine if an organization / company decides to offer an IPO? How do you do your checks and balances to ensure that you are investing in a company that will turn out to be a profit and not a loss?
All right, great question. I'm going to come to that. How much time we have? Yes?
I would like to answer her question.
Oh.
Is that okay? Miss? Alright, so a way to do that is by looking at the financial statements the balance sheet, income statement, the cash flow.
She said, I have no idea about those things. He said, look at the financial statement, balance sheet, cash flow. Fortunately, I have a course that teaches it. Actually, I have some free videos on YouTube that break it down. Cash flow statement, balance sheet, and profit and loss statement. Free on YouTube. Yes?
Miss, the owners of the shares, miss, they have access to the balance sheet and so.
Yes. So once a company is publicly listed, now the company becomes accountable to the public. So now they have to publish. They are required by law to publish all their financial statements, all the updates about the company. Every 3 months, they must publish their financial statements online. So just go here in Jamaica, you go to the JSC website, jamstockex.com, and you can search for any company, including Massey's financial statements, and find out how much money they made last year, how much they spent, what they spent it on. You get a breakdown of everything. Why is that? It's because they're owned by the public, so they have to be accountable to the public, right? So yeah, a lot goes into it, but it's not necessarily as hard as some people make it out to be. Now, how do you know what stocks to buy? There are different things that go into it. Yes, you look at the financial statements, but you also want to look at trends. What's going on in Jamaica right now? What is selling? If I notice, right now, let's say water has been one of the top brands of bottled water, right? But I notice all of a sudden, everywhere I go, I start seeing this brand, Blue Waters. Everywhere. Nobody drinking water WATA anymore. Everybody drinking Blue Waters. Now what do I do as a savvy investor? I start thinking, who make this? Who owns this? Who distributes this brand? I'm assuming Massive distributes this, which is why we have it here today. So if we can't find the owner, sometimes it's the distributor. Massive distributes this brand, and I noticed that all of a sudden this brand is taking over the whole of Jamaica. Maybe I should invest in this company. So you want to observe things that are going on right now. And I found out after doing my research, sometimes you can just look at the bottle. It says product of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me see, how would I find out who makes or produces this? Usually there's a number on there or an address. Yes, bottled by Blue Water Products Limited, 2 Orange Grove, Trin City. Maybe what you could do is wherever you bought it from, ask the people where they got it. There's an email on it. There are ways to find out. Email info@bluewaterstt.com. Right, so I would email that address, and I would pretend that I want to distribute this myself. I'll be like, hi, I want to sell your water. I have a little shop. How can I do that? And then they'll put you in touch with the distributor, and then you'll be like, oh, it's Massey. All right, good. I'm going to buy shares in that company. Sometimes it's a lot more obvious. Water brand that we spoke about is manufactured by Wisinco, which is also listed on the stock exchange. You might notice Fontana just opening Portmore. Fontana has been expanding. You're like, whoa, this means that they're going to make a lot more money because they just opened a brand new branch. Maybe I should invest in that company. It's as simple as that. So yes, you do want to look at financials, but you also want to look at trends. What's happening around you? Open your eyes. Start making note of the things that are going on and what's not doing well. If you notice, like I said, Blue Waters are on road and nobody drinking water anymore, maybe it's time to sell Wisinco. But you also want to look at what are the other things that they produce. Maybe they have other things that are doing well. So simple observations. You notice that a lot of construction is taking place. Everywhere you look, buildings are going up. So what are the companies that are involved in that industry? Cement probably selling a lot, right? Lumber. So we have Carib Cement listed on the stock exchange. Lumber Depot listed on the stock exchange. Even Rapid True Value is actually owned by Grace Kennedy, listed on the stock exchange. You have, okay, who are the companies that are making the money off of the sale of these properties? You have several real estate companies listed on the stock exchange. You have, who all we have? We have, Demetrius, help me out. real estate companies listed. We have First Rock, we have Panjam Investments, we have Proven, Cygnus Real Estate, that big building going up on Belmont Road, opposite Toyota. That's Cygnus. Keller Williams Real Estate, that they're not listed. They're a real estate firm. So we want to look at the companies that actually own the properties and they're selling the properties or renting space in the properties. Who are they? And there's a whole list of them. They are the companies that you may want to consider investing in. So this is how you figure out what to invest in. This is how you at least get an idea of what you want to. Once you've noticed the trends now, you go deeper and look at the financials. Okay, how is this company doing? Are they making a profit? Are they spending foolishly? Do they owe a lot of money? And then the third thing you want to look at is, who are the owners? Do you trust these people? And we've seen that become a big factor in one particular company. I said to me, just laughing, I'm not going to call their name, he who shall not be named. Some people know who I'm talking about. But you want to know who, and I've been saying this even before that whole situation, who are the owners? Do they have the relevant experience in the business that they are running? When you look at their board, is their board advising them properly? Do they have the relevant skills? You probably want to have an attorney on the board. You want to have a numbers person on the board. You want to have people who know the industry. And then, are these people, what is their track record in business? Have they run previous businesses? Did those businesses succeed or fail? Do you trust, ultimately, do you trust the people that you're going to be giving your hard-earned money to invest in this company? And what is their plan for growth? So in Jamaica, we have the main market and we have the junior market. Main market is typically for bigger companies like Massey. Junior market, the cap has just been raised to $750 million. So the companies that are listed on there are typically smaller companies. But the thing is, how much risk do you want to take? So when you decide that you want to invest, you need to know, what kind of person are you? Are you a risk taker? Are you somebody who's going to just put it all on the line and hope for a return, all or nothing? Or are you more conservative? And you know that if you invest in a company, you're going to be fretting, you're going to be checking the stock price every minute to see if it's gone up or down, you're afraid. You have to know your personality as well. What is your risk tolerance? That is something you have to know about yourself, and that's going to help you determine what kind of companies you are going to invest in. Because you have companies that are riskier, but what I said, high risk, high reward, low risk, low reward. So if you're going to put your money in something pretty much safe, that you're not, nothing's going to happen to your money. I'd say Massey is one of those companies. It's big, it's been around for years, it's fairly safe, but then you're not going to earn a huge return off it because it's safe, low risk, low reward. If you want to make a bigger money, you have to take more risk. You might be investing in a startup company or a company that's been around just a few years, 5 years. You're not quite sure what they're going to do, but then the payout could potentially be bigger. Keep in mind, it could also go the other way, and you end up losing your money because it's a new company, and there is inherently more risk in investing in newer companies. So there's all that you want to consider, and I want you guys to just get started to open your investment accounts. It is not that hard. Everybody here have a bank account? Next step now, open an investment account. Most of the banks have investment arms attached to them. It's the same process to open the investment account. You're going to need your ID, your TRN, your proof of address, and they may ask you for source of income, which you can just say savings, and probably send them like your bank statement and so. Open your investment account. It's different from the bank account. If you have NCB, you go to NCB Capital Markets. It's not the same, but there's a branch usually within. Which bank would I suggest? It really depends on what you are starting with.
Real estate and stocks.
So anyone, you can invest, you can use any firm to invest in real estate and stocks. But which place should you start your account with? You have JMMB is a very popular one. I think the minimum there is 10,000 to open an account. It might be 5. It's 10, 20, 25, gone up. Oh, I have to update my stuff. NCB, you have, I think NCB's minimum is 10. It used to be 50. So it really depends on how much money you have to start. Then you have all the way up to Mayberry where you need $1 million just to open the account. So what is accessible to you, what money you have, that's why I say start by paying yourself first, saving, accumulating that first 10, 20,000, put it in your investment account, set up your meeting with your investment advisor and start investing. And then once you start, the great thing is that this can lead you on the path to wealth because it opens up the door for the other 2 keys to wealth creation. Because now you can use the money you made over here to invest in the real estate, which is how my husband and I were finally able to buy our house. We used our investments. And then you can also use some of the money you owned over here to start your business. And now you have all 3 keys towards wealth creation. And now as you get older, that money starts making more money for you. You have another property that you're renting out. You have your car that you bought as taxi that you're renting out to taxi. The taxi man giving you money every week that he collects. And you have all these different things going on where you get to the point that you don't have to work. You work because you want to work. And you can do the things that you really want to do with your life. But it takes time. This is where you start the building phase, where you are right now. Like I said, it is not impossible. The first step is to pay yourself first, no matter how little you're making. Put aside $2,000, $5,000 a month. Before you even touch your money, use that to constantly invest, constantly reinvest. Do your research, reinvest. Once that grows to a substantial amount, now you can start investing in property. Now you can start investing in other businesses. Now you can start investing in other things. So by the time you reach my age, you're set. You're good. You don't have to worry about struggling. You're not living that struggle life anymore. You're living the soft life. Who wants a soft life? You want the soft life. Absolutely. Now before I wrap up, I want to tell you about some programs, some opportunities that I think you guys are in great position to benefit from. Yes?
Before you move on, so I heard you talk about like the market and basically on everything that I've said that's like the market going up, but how can you determine when the market is about to crash?
How can you determine when the market is about to crash? So sometimes there are signs, there are people who study these things, they have this thing called the bell curve as a whole technical thing, but typically the market doesn't all crash at once. Sometimes it happens like COVID was a big event that caused the market to crash. You had in the 1920s the Great Depression, and you have signs of something big that is going to happen. Typically the whole market is not going to crash at one time. It might be one stock. Often what happens is that the market reacts to news, which is why I'm so passionate about bringing out timely news. The market reacts to stuff that is happening. So if a company announces that they put out their financial statements as they're required to do by law, and us journalists, we read the statements and we notice that they made a massive loss last year, and we report that, now all of a sudden everybody starts selling their shares because they're like, oh, this company is doing very poorly. Or a big decision was made. OpenAI was a great example. OpenAI is the company that makes ChatGPT. OpenAI is 49% owned by Microsoft. They had this thing last year where they fired the CEO, Sam Altman, which caused the stock price to drop. Because he's the guy who built it up from scratch, and all of a sudden you're going to fire the CEO. So shareholders are going to lose confidence because of something like that. When they lose confidence, you're going to get afraid and sell. When everybody starts selling at the same time, the stock price is going to go down, and those are things that cause a stock price to crash. Before I move on, so I forgot to mention something important. How do you make money from stocks? Very, very important point. There are 2 ways that you make money from stock market investing. One is dividends, and one is price appreciation. Let me explain what these mean. Dividends are your share of a company's profits. Massey is a dividend-paying company. So when they make a profit, they share it out amongst all their shareholders. Not all companies pay dividends, especially the smaller ones, because they're still growing. So when they make a profit, they're going to reinvest that profit into the company. So they're going to reinvest that company to build a new store or to grow, whatever it takes for them to grow, rather than paying out profits to shareholders. But for those companies Where the real value is the price appreciation. What does that mean? That is simply when the price of the stock goes up. So you buy the share, the stock for $1, and then it goes up to $2. So now you want to sell it back. When you sell it back, you made 100% profit because you sell it for more than you bought it. That's the whole objective. A lot of people get caught up in the stock market. When a stock gets hot, everybody all of a sudden talking about it, that's when they want to buy, and that's usually when the price is highest. Great example, Bitcoin. It's not a stock, cryptocurrency, but same concept. So right now Bitcoin is hot. Bitcoin is at record highs. I think it's hit 70,000 US dollar for one Bitcoin. And now everybody all of a sudden want to buy, and you hear people saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million by now. But guess what? Last year, Bitcoin was at 19,000. And that's because it fell the year before. It was at 60,000, and it was hot, and everybody was buying, and then it started falling. Everybody get afraid, and they start sell. It dropped to 19, and now it's back up. The time to buy was when it was at 19, because the point is to buy low and sell high. So there's a very famous investor named Warren Buffett who always says, be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. So when everybody gets afraid and starts selling, that's when the price is going to come down. That presents a buying opportunity for you because now it's cheap. So when it's cheap, you buy it. When it gets expensive, you sell it and you make a profit. Most new investors do the opposite. They buy it expensive because there's a hype, everybody's talking about it, and then the price come down and then get afraid and sell, and then they lose money. You want to do the opposite. Greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy. All right, so let me wrap. I know you have a question, but we're running out of time, and I really want to tell you these opportunities before I go. So, who follows the budget debates? Nobody. In her introduction of me, Tajna said that she noticed I started by reporting on the budget debates. So it's one of my favorite things to do every year, because it's when the government announces their plans for the year of what they're going to spend money on, and also how they're going to earn money, usually by tax revenues, by taxing us. So how are they going to earn money? Once they earn the money, what are they going to spend on? That's all the budget is. So this year, there are quite a few things that can potentially benefit most, if not all of you in here today, and I want to draw your attention to them. They especially have to do with education. Anybody here at Heart? Heart? You're about to start. Do you know who your MP is? Find out who your MP is and start sweet up that person. Go to their constituency office. Go to wherever the office is. Find out who the MP is. Find out where the office is. Go there. Start introducing yourself, because the MPs are getting allocations for various things for education. Heart is one of the things that is going to benefit. Also, student loans. So student loans, as was just announced in the budget by the Prime Minister last week, you no longer need a guarantor to get a student loan. So you don't need anybody to sign on your behalf. Yes, really. Up to last year, you needed one person. Before last year, you needed 2 people. Now you don't need anybody to sign. You can go into SLB and get your student loan, right? So that's one thing. If you're going to higher education, UWI, UTech, EDNA, any approved institution, I'm not sure, probably UCC, wherever you're doing your higher education, you can get your student loan. Now, in addition to that, why I said she must sweet up her MP, and for the rest of you as well, the members of parliament are also getting an allocation to give $200,000 towards student education to certain people in the constituency. Let me find out. There's a limit though. Where is it? Yes, it says, in addition to the removal of the guarantor requirement, government will make available $200 million to provide tuition support for at least 1,000 students who show $200 million total for everybody. $200 million to 1,000 students work out to $200,000 each, right? So tuition support for at least 1,000 students who show that they are in good academic standing. So if you're already in school, you're doing well, you're passing, but you're in need of financial support, you could qualify for this. But it says this support will be administered through the Ministry of Education. So you can go to Ministry of Education, let them know, hey, I need it. in conjunction with the CDF. The CDF is the Constituency Development Fund, which is why I said sweet up your MP, because that's administered through your Member of Parliament, where each constituency will be allocated $3 million, and each beneficiary can get a maximum tuition grant of $200,000. So if you sweet up your MP, you can let them know that you are in school, you are in good academic standing, you're passing your subjects, and you need financial support. You can qualify for this $200,000 grant. And the MPs often get to pick who they give it to. So go sweet up your MP. And not the MP directly, the people who work for them in the office, who are close to them. So there's that. For my friend here at Heart, there's a lot going on at Heart. And for those of you considering Heart as well, it's now free at Heart up to level 4. You can learn a skill, you can learn a trade. And not just that, they also introduced the CARE program. And under this program, where is it? Under this program, they're going to be giving you $15,000 a month towards bus fare, so you can get to school. And they're going to be giving you $13,000 a week just to go to school. And you can spend that, I guess, on food or whatever. And she looked skeptical. She's like, that sounds too good to be true. It is true. So they're going to be doing that, but it's not for everybody. It is for certain people. And once again, it's being administered through the MPs. So find out who is your Member of Parliament. Maybe you can volunteer with their office. That way they know who you are. And when time comes to give out these things, you are high on the list. And you guys are children in state care, you definitely need it. Nobody need it more than you. If you are on the PATH program, there are additional incentives. So for you on Heart, when you finish Heart now, you got your $15K a month for bus fare, you got your $13K a week. In addition to that, and Heart is free. In addition to that, when you finish, they're gonna give you a grant. Grant means free money of $75,000 if you're on PATH. If you're not on PATH, it's $50,000. If you are on PATH, it's $75,000 in order to buy the tools of your trade. So depending on what you study, you might need tools. Let's say you study construction, you're gonna need some tools, right? If you start a business while you're enrolled, after 1 year, when you finish Heart, after 1 year and you had your business at least the year before, you can now benefit from another program. How much money was that? Let me try find it. Uplift on the job. Can't remember how much it was. But you get additional money towards your business. It's a grant, it's free money. So start friending up your MPs. Don't bother if people say you're PMP or JLP, who cares? You're in it for you right now. And if they can assist you, then make the most of these opportunities. They are free, they can help to set you up, to get you started on this path to life.